Chapter 31. Golden Armored Puppet Talisman. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. As expected, the system did not stipulate that he had to successfully draw the talismans. Even if the drawing failed, it did not affect his mission progress. More than half a year later, Jiang Qingxian looked at the talisman in front of him and turned to ashes again and couldn't help but sigh deeply. As expected, even the rejuvenation talisman, which was the easiest to learn, was not so easy at all in reality. No wonder among hundreds of professions in the cultivation world, alchemy, beret formation, weapon refinement, and talisman making were the four professions that consumed the most resources. Fortunately, after more than half a year of hard work, the mission progress under his retina had already become 100%. Let's see what the reward the system can bring me this time. Ding! Just as this thought flashed across Jiang Qingxuan's mind, the system's voice sounded. Congratulations, host. You have completed the mission of drawing level 2 talismans 30 times and obtained the ability to draw a level 2 low-grade talisman called Golden Armored Puppet Talisman. Golden Armored Puppet Talisman. A 1-time use puppet talisman. After using it, you can summon a low-grade level 2 golden armored puppet to fight. Its strength is comparable to a first-level foundation establishment realm cultivator. It can last for 10 minutes. Jiang Qingxian did not expect the system reward this time to be so awesome. Not only did the system raise his talisman making mastery to low-grade level 2, but it also gave him the ability to draw the golden armored puppet talisman. He remembered very clearly that in the level 2 talisman collection, there was no record of a talisman called the Golden Armored Puppet Talisman. In other words, only the system had this talisman. Or rather, it was a special inheritance. Without special opportunities, it was impossible for the general public to obtain it. The only problem was that the cost of drawing such a talisman was extremely high, almost dozens of times higher than drawing an ordinary low-grade level 2 talisman. Moreover, the materials might not be especially easy to find. It was probably very difficult to find all the materials needed to make this talisman in an ordinary level 2 market. However, even so, it was still very worth it. This was because a golden armored puppet comparable to a first-level foundation establishment realm cultivator was already quite extraordinary. Especially in battle, it was enough to turn the situation around. It could completely be used as a trump card. It seemed like he had to come out of seclusion early. After all, he did not have the materials to draw the golden armored puppet talisman. If he needed to make it, he had to go out and buy the materials. He wondered if there were enough materials in the Shen immortal family. He had to go out and take a look first. Fortunately, over the years, he had already accumulated more than 2,000 spirit stones from the Shen family. It was just enough to buy the materials to make a golden armored puppet talisman. However, if he used spirit stones to buy those materials in the family, he would not be able to enjoy a discount. He would have to pay at the normal market price. However, at this moment, he did not care about that. The most important thing now was to think of a way to buy all the materials needed to make the golden armored puppet talisman. At the thought of this, Jiang Qingxian stopped hesitating. After leaving his cave abode, he went straight to the salary hall to claim all the salary he had accumulated over the years. There were a total of 2,200 spirit stones. Then, he went to the place where the Shen immortal family exchanged items and found that they didn't have the most important materials used to make the golden armored puppet talisman, which were the extreme yellow jade and the heavenly spiritual dew. However, they had a lot of supplementary materials. Therefore, he spent 400 spirit stones to buy all the supplementary materials needed to make the golden armored puppet talisman. After that, Jiang Qingxian started to think about taking a trip. First of all, it was to buy the extreme yellow jade and the heavenly spiritual dew. Since the Shen immortal family didn't have any, he would go to the nearby immortal family like the Zhang immortal family or the market of the flowing clouds sect to take a look. He wanted to see if he could buy the extreme yellow jade and the heavenly spiritual dew in those two places. Moreover, the family contribution points and spirit stones he had were obviously in a shortage. On this trip, Jiang Qingxian actually had the intention of earning some of them. In the Shin immortal family, the best way to earn the contribution points was naturally to do missions. Therefore, Jiang Qingxian went to the mission hall again. After selecting, he found a few missions to kill low-grade level 2 demon beasts. If he could complete it and hand over the corpses of those demon beasts to the Shin immortal family, Jiang Qingxian should be able to obtain at least 3,000 to 4,000 contribution points. Soon, Jiang Qingxian left the Shin immortal family's base and flew towards the market of the Zhang immortal family. Clearly, he planned to go to the nearby market under the jurisdiction of the Zhang immortal family to see if he could buy the extreme yellow jade and the heavenly spiritual dew there. If he couldn't, he would go to the market of the flowing cloud sect further away to take a look. If he still couldn't find the materials, he could only consider going back to the Ganyang market. However, this would undoubtedly waste a lot of his time. What Jiang Qingxian did not notice was that the moment he left the Shin immortal family's base, two cold and vicious gazes were staring at him. "Brother Gua, are you sure we want to target him?" A burly man in black with a sinister gaze like a wolf stared at Jiang Qingxuan's back and asked a tall and thin man with a hooked nose beside him. When the tall and thin man called Brother Gua heard this, he couldn't help but sneer. "Brother Zhao, do you think there's a problem with us targeting him? Don't forget that the Shin immortal family is after all a Violet Palace realm family. Even if they have declined now, they are not people demonic independent cultivators like us can offend. Moreover, this time, we are just paid to do it. Since the other party did not specify who the target is, why don't we choose the weakest one? As far as I know, the person just now joined the Shin immortal family 4 or 5 years ago. It was at most 5 years since he broke through to the Foundation Establishment realm. He should be the weakest among all the Foundation Establishment cultivators in the Shin immortal family. Killing him will not be too risky. At the same time, we can get a generous reward. It's killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Why not?" "That's true." The burly man in black, who was called Brother Zhao, couldn't help but nod in agreement. Then, a ferocious glint flashed across his eyes. "In that case, let's follow that guy. We can't let him escape." Chapter 32. Fighting Demonic Cultivators. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On the other side. After Jiang Qingxian was a distance away from the Shin immortal family's base, he suddenly realized that he seemed to have been followed. This made him puzzled. He did not know who would follow him for no reason. He did not remember offending anyone after advancing to the Foundation Establishment realm. Could it be that the Shin immortal family wanted to harm him? Impossible. If the Shin immortal family wanted to harm him, there was no need to go through so much trouble. Then there was the problem. Since it was not the Shin immortal family, who could it be? Jiang Qingxuan's eyes darkened. No matter who it was, the person following behind him like this was definitely not a good person. Instead of worrying about being attacked from behind, he might as well strike first. At the thought of this, Jiang Qingxian, who was flying in front, suddenly stopped and turned around. He said in a low voice, "The 2 of you have followed me for so long. Is there something you want?" However, there was no response for a long time. The thought that these people might be here to take his life made Jiang Qingxian feel a chill run down his spine. This was an instinct he had developed after living in the cultivation world for many years. Subconsciously, he activated the purple, gold spirit shield in secret. At the same time, he was ready to use the phantom steps. Shriek, as expected. With an ear-piercing sound, a black claw appeared above Jiang Qingxian and was charging down towards his head. What is this? A demonic Dharma artifact. They were actually demonic cultivators. Jiang Qingxuan's pupils suddenly constricted. He did not expect the people following behind him to be demonic cultivators. Without dwelling on the reason, he immediately activated phantom steps. In an instant, Jiang Qingxuan's figure suddenly disappeared in midair. When he appeared again, he was already 30 meters away and barely dodged the sneak attack of the Black Claw. Buzz. However, at this moment, a saber that was covered in a layer of black demonic chi slashed at his neck from behind. In an instant, a roar that sounded like a ghost echoed in his ears, making Jiang Qingxian feel dizzy. This was the cry of a wraith. How many innocent mortals had the other party sacrificed to refine such a level 2 demonic saber? Jiang Qingxian endured the discomfort in his head and immediately took out his defensive Dharma artifact, the purple gold spirit shield. There was a bang. When the demonic saber hit the purple gold spiritual shield, dazzling sparks flew everywhere. However, it could not break through the defense of the purple gold spirit shield. What? A surprised voice suddenly sounded in the air. Then, the tall and thin man and the burly man in black appeared beside Jiang Qingxian and sandwiched him in between. Jiang Qingxian looked up at the two of them and said with a dark expression, "I don't think I've offended the two of you, right? What exactly do you want?" Jiang Qingxian was not that kind of righteous cultivator who swore to kill every demonic cultivator they saw. Although he also wanted to kill these comes of the cultivation world, the prerequisite was that he had to have the strength to absolutely crush them. Now was not the time yet. Just now, he had already analyzed the two demonic cultivators in front of him. The tall and thin man standing on his left was at the 4th level of the Foundation Establishment realm. The burly man in black standing on his right was at the 3rd level of the Foundation Establishment realm. Both of their cultivation levels were higher than his. However, if he fought skillfully and didn't make any mistake, it was possible for him to kill them or one of them. But it was better to be safe than sorry. What if they had some trump card? What if they had some secret spells? What if there were more demonic cultivators rushing over? Therefore, it was better not to make a move if he didn't have to. However, the two people were clearly not here to make friends. The burly man in black sneered sinisterly. "Why does a dead person need to know so much? I advise you to surrender obediently. That way, you can avoid a lot of unnecessary pain. Otherwise, hee." With that, he took out the black claw again. With a whoosh, a black claw appeared in the air, carrying an extremely ferocious and vicious aura as it suddenly grabbed at Jiang Qingxuan's chest. "I knew it." Jiang Qingxuan's eyes suddenly darkened. A killing intent was finally surging in his heart. Although he admitted that he was a very timid person who was afraid of trouble. His greatest wish was actually to stay in a place and cultivate in peace without being disturbed by anyone. However, such a simple wish had already become an extravagant wish in the current cultivation world. He didn't take the initiative to provoke anyone, and he didn't want to harm anyone, but there were always people who wanted to harm him. Now, these two fellows wanted to take his life for no reason. Did they really think he was a pushover? At this moment, Jiang Qingxian suddenly disappeared into thin air on the spot. On the other side, the tall and thin man seemed to have sensed something. His expression immediately changed slightly and he shouted, "Be careful." Then, the demonic saber in his hand suddenly slashed out. The cries of countless wraiths resounded in the sky. There was a tearing sound. Jiang Qingxuan's body was immediately cut into two. However, the body that was cut into two quickly turned into light and dissipated. The tall and thin man immediately had a bad feeling. Before he could shout at the burly man in black and remind him to be careful, a sword light like a breeze flashed behind the burly man in black. The expression of the burly man in black, who was still controlling the black claw to search for Jiang Qingxian, froze. Then, with a whoosh, his entire body was split into two from head to toe. It was the early stage breeze sword technique. Coupled with the phantom steps he had mastered, Jiang Qingxian managed to end the burly man's life in a single strike while he was not on guard. This was also the first person he had killed since advancing to the Foundation Establishment realm. It was also the first Foundation Establishment cultivator he had killed. However, when he looked up at the tall and thin man again, the tall and thin man had already scurried away in fear. Chapter 33. Execution. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This surprised Jiang Qingxian. As an evil and ferocious demonic cultivator, shouldn't he be even more ferocious after seeing his companion killed? Why did he run away just like that? It did not match the character of a demonic cultivator at all. Well. In fact, cunning and quick-wittedness were the true nature of these demonic cultivators. The ferociousness was just one of the fronts they put on. When they sensed danger and death, they would run on instinct. However, he had already made a move and had already made an enemy of the thin and tall man. If he let him escape, wouldn't he live on tenterhooks in the future? This was something Jiang Qingxian would never allow. Therefore, Jiang Qingxian did not hesitate at all. After reaching out to catch the storage bag that fell from the burly man in black, he immediately took out the purple flame sword and chased after the tall and thin man. The strength of his true essence now was almost close to the strength of the mid-stage Foundation Establishment realm. In addition, the flying sword under his feet was a mid-grade level 2 flying sword, 1 grade higher than the saber of the tall and thin man. Therefore, a moment later, Jiang Qingxian slowly caught up to the tall and thin man. Damn it! How can he be so fast? The tall and thin man, who was escaping in front, felt the sword light approaching from behind and his heart immediately sank. Just now, Jiang Qingxian suddenly killed the burly man in black who was at the third level of the Foundation Establishment realm. Now, as the second-level Foundation Establishment realm cultivator, Jiang Qingxian was about to catch up to him, who was at the fourth level of the Foundation Establishment realm. The tall and thin man knew that this could not continue. He had to think of a way to seize the initiative. At the thought of this, a trace of ruthlessness flashed across the tall and thin man's eyes. He suddenly stopped in his tracks. Immediately after, the demonic saber under his feet turned into a black stream of light and slashed at Jiang Qingxian. Jiang Qingxian was more than happy to confront the tall and thin man head-on. The purple flame sword under Jiang Qingxian's feet also turned into a purple sword light that collided with the black demonic saber. Boom! In an instant, purple and black light erupted. The terrifying sword chi and saber aura immediately dispersed the clouds in the sky. A wave of the aftershock hit a small hill not far away. In an instant, rocks rolled down and dust flew up into the sky. At this moment, a small flag suddenly appeared in the tall and thin man's hand. This flag was called the Blood Fiend Soul Flag. It was a level 2 Dharma artifact refined by the tall and thin man with the blood of 300,000 mortals. Its power was already close to a mid-grade level 2 artifact. Most importantly, there was a level 2 evil spirit living in the flag that had reached the middle stage of the Foundation Establishment realm. Once it was summoned, this evil spirit would attack all the living beings that appeared in front of it, including the tall and thin man himself. Only when the tall and thin man really turned this Blood Fiend Soul Flag into a mid-grade level 2 Dharma artifact would the evil spirit living in it have a certain level of intelligence and stop attacking its master. However, at this moment, since the tall and thin man took out this flag, he naturally had a way to dodge the evil spirit's attack. A grayish-brown bead suddenly appeared in his hand. The bead emitted an extremely strong death aura that actually covered the presence of the tall and thin man. As a result, to the evil spirit in the Blood Fiend Soul banner, only Jiang Qingxian was hovering in the air. As expected, the evil spirit that rushed out of the Blood Fiend Soul flag immediately pounced at Jiang Qingxian. Humph! Seeing that the evil spirit was pouncing at him, Jiang Qingxian took out the shield again. There was a series of creaks. Under the attack of the evil spirit, the spiritual light around Jiang Qingxian's purple, gold spirit shield began to rapidly weaken. Moreover, at the edge of the shield, there were faint traces of blood fiend aura lingering around it. This evil spirit actually had the ability to pollute Dharma artifacts. Jiang Qingxuan's eyes darkened. He knew that he could not continue like this. Otherwise, his purple, gold spirit shield would probably be damaged. At the thought of this, he immediately looked at the tall and thin man who was looking at him with a cold smile. Russell, at this moment, Jiang Qingxian suddenly took out dozens of golden light talismans that emitted a rich golden light. Although this talisman was only a high-grade level 1 talisman, it was extremely effective against ghosts and evil spirits. Even if they could not really do anything to the evil spirit, it was not a problem to restrain it for a while. In the golden light, Jiang Qingxian quickly formed a seal and raised his hands like he was holding a bottle. Before the tall and thin man not far away could react, his vision was suddenly filled with endless white light. This. What is this? The tall and thin man was shocked. He wanted to escape, but the speed of the white light far exceeded his expectations. In just an instant, he was completely engulfed by the white light. Crack, crack, the tall and thin man's body was quickly covered in a thick layer of frost. At the same time, the black demonic saber that had already lost its owner was immediately cut into two by Jiang Qingxuan's purple flame sword. Then, with a bang, the purple flame sword pierced through the tall and thin man's head and executed him in the air. After killing the tall and thin man, the purple flame sword did not stop. It made a spin in the air. With a bang, the purple flame sword pierced through the evil spirit's chest. Flames were the nemesis of the netherworld beings like evil spirits and ghosts. Moreover, Jiang Qingxuan's surging true essence also wrapped around the sword. Even though the evil spirit's strength was already comparable to the middle stage of the Foundation establishment realm, it was still severely injured in an instant. Jiang Qingxian did not hold back at all. After severely injuring the evil spirit, he slashed the purple flame sword repeatedly. Along with the blood fiend's soul flag, the evil spirit was shattered and exploded in the air. Jiang Qingxian raised his hand and grabbed the storage bag on the tall and thin man's corpse. He didn't linger around any longer. The purple flame sword instantly turned into a sword light and disappeared. A moment later, several streaks of light appeared nearby. When they saw the corpses of the tall and thin man and the burly man in black, their expressions changed drastically. It's old Gua and old Zhao. They actually died here. Hurry up. Go and report to the family head. Chapter 34. Gain. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jiang Qingxian did not know what happened after he left. At this moment, he appeared in a secluded cave. After setting up an anti-detection array, Jiang Qingxian immediately took out his purple, gold spirit shield. A thin layer of blood mist was wrapped around the surface of his purple, gold spirit shield. He checked carefully. Fortunately, the purple, gold spirit shield was not very contaminated. He only needed to use his true essence to restore it. Putting away the purple gold spirit shield, Jiang Qingxuan's gaze finally landed on the storage bags that belonged to the two demonic cultivators. There were obviously restrictions on both storage bags. Jiang Qingxian checked and realized that it might take a few days to break the restrictions on the two storage bags. At this moment, he was not in a hurry. As he broke the restrictions on the two storage bags, he expelled the pollution on the purple, gold spirit shield. Almost a week later, the restrictions on the two storage bags had been completely removed by Jiang Qingxian. He had also removed the pollution on the purple, gold spirit shield. However, Jiang Qingxian continued to nurture the purple, gold spirit shield with his true essence. A few days later, the purple, gold spirit shield was completely restored. It was only at this moment that Jiang Qingxian picked up the storage bag of the burly man in black. He probed with his divine sense. The first thing he saw was a large pile of spirit stones. There were a total of 1,874 of them. There were also some black bottles and jars, as well as some human skin and skulls. It was obvious at a glance that they were something good. Jiang Qingxian was not interested in them at all. After taking them out, he burned them all. Then, there were a few demonic cultivation techniques and some extremely cruel demonic spells. Jiang Qingxian would not learn these things either and burned them all. Then, it was the black claw that had been used to deal with him previously. This was a demonic artifact. A large amount of resentment and evil aura gathered inside. Jiang Qingxian had never cultivated a demonic technique, so this artifact was useless to him. However, after refining it, he might be able to extract some of the materials used to forge this demonic artifact. It should be worth a lot of spirit stones. Finally, there was a talisman with a green aura. As soon as Jiang Qingxian held it in his hand, his expression changed slightly. This was because he had already recognized the talisman in front of him. This talisman was called the Mystic Green Divine Wind Talisman. Once it was cast, it could release a terrifying wind that was enough to blow away a huge mountain. If a cultivator was blown by it, his flesh, blood, and bones would be instantly blown apart. Although this talisman was only mid-grade level 2, its power had really reached the peak of the attack power of a 6th level Foundation Establishment Realm cultivator. Even late-stage Foundation Establishment Realm cultivators had to be careful when facing this talisman. If they were not careful, they would most likely suffer. Jiang Qingxian immediately felt a lingering fear. This talisman should be a trump card prepared by the burly man in black to deal with him. Fortunately, he used all his might to kill that burly man in the first place. Otherwise, the outcome of the previous battle might be completely different. Therefore, it showed that recklessness was dangerous. Even when facing people of a lower realm than you, you had to be 100% careful. Otherwise, you might die miserably. As he thought, Jiang Qingxian opened the tall and thin man's storage bag. The first thing he saw was also a large pile of spirit stones. This time, there were even more, reaching 2,300 spirit stones. In total, the two of them provided Jiang Qingxian with more than 4,100 spirit stones. With this amount of spirit stones, it was not a problem for him to buy the materials to make the golden armored puppet talisman. At first, Jiang Qingxian was a little worried that he might not have enough spirit stones. But now, with the amount of spirit stones he had, not to mention buying one set of materials to make the golden armored puppet talisman, even 2 sets and 3 sets were not a problem. Just like the burly man in black, this tall and thin man also had a large number of things used by demonic cultivators in his storage bag. Jiang Qingxian cleaned them all up. On the other hand, because of the previous battle, the demonic saber and the blood fiend soul flag were both greatly damaged. Even if he refined it, he would probably not be able to extract anything valuable. Therefore, Jiang Qingxian did not take it. In the end, Jiang Qingxian found another blue stone the size of a fist. There seemed to be blue liquid flowing inside. This thing was called the water-glazed stone. It was a material for refining level 2 water element dharma artifacts. It was worth at least 1,500 spirit stones. If there was a chance, he could sell it. Finally, Jiang Qingxian finished counting the gains from killing the 2 Foundation Establishment Realm demonic cultivators. It had to be said that Jiang Qingxian had gained a lot this time. It had to be known that under normal circumstances, demonic cultivators would not have anything especially valuable on them. More than 4,000 spirit stones, a fist-sized water-glazed stone, and a mystic green divine wind talisman were already quite a harvest. The only thing that made Jiang Qingxian a little unhappy was that he did not find any information about their identities in their storage bags. He still didn't know why the 2 of them wanted to kill him. Forget it. When he returned to the Shen immortal family, he would find someone to ask. At the thought of this, Jiang Qingxian did not continue to stay in the cave. After casually removing the array he had set up, he flew out. A few days later. In a large market under the jurisdiction of the Zhang immortal family Jiang Qingxian searched a few shops in a row, but he could not find the extreme yellow jade and heavenly spiritual dew he wanted. This disappointed him greatly. It seemed that it was probably impossible to buy extreme yellow jade and heavenly spiritual dew from these level 2 markets. He then arrived at the last shop called Zhang's Treasury House. This was a shop opened by the Zhang immortal family. Jiang Qingxian had already made up his mind. If he could not find extreme yellow jade and heavenly spiritual dew here, he would go straight to the Ganyang market. As soon as he walked into the treasure house, a beautiful female cultivator welcomed him. However, when she sensed the faint aura of the foundation establishment realm from Jiang Qingxian, her expression immediately changed. She quickly said politely to Jiang Qingxian, "Senior, what do you want to buy? I'll get the manager over to talk to you now." Jiang Qingxian nodded slightly. Seeing this, the beautiful female cultivator immediately asked someone to serve tea to Jiang Qingxian. Then, she turned around and went upstairs to inform the manager. Chapter 35. Obtaining extreme yellow jade and meeting an acquaintance. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After a while, a middle-aged man walked down from upstairs. This person was the manager of this treasure house. His name was Zhang Changyan, and he was at the perfect stage of the qi refinement realm. When he saw Jiang Qingxian, he immediately said enthusiastically, "Senior, thank you for coming. I apologize for not coming out to welcome you. Please forgive me. Senior, are you visiting Zhang's treasure house to buy something?" Jiang Qingxian went straight to the point. "I want a piece of level 2 extreme yellow jade and a bottle of level 2 heavenly spiritual dew. Do you have it? Level 2 extreme yellow jade and level 2 heavenly spiritual dew." Hearing Jiang Qingxuan's words, Zhang Changyan was stunned for a moment before saying with a smile, "What a coincidence. Yesterday, we obtained a level 2 extreme yellow jade. However, I'm really sorry, Senior. We really don't have heavenly spiritual dew." Jiang Qingxian was delighted. He really did not expect that there would really be extreme yellow jade for sale in Zhang's treasury house. Unfortunately, they didn't have heavenly spiritual dew. Otherwise, he could save himself a lot of trouble. Thinking of this, Jiang Qingxian immediately said to Zhang Changyan, "Then please show me the level 2 extreme yellow jade." Zhang Changyan did not refuse. After saying, "Wait a moment," to Jiang Qingxian, he turned around and went upstairs. Not long after, he walked down with a jade box. Zhang Changyan smiled as he opened the jade box in his hand. "Senior, this is the level 2 extreme yellow jade you wanted. You can take a closer look." In the jade box, there was a yellow jade the size of a goose egg. If one looked carefully, they could feel an aura as thick as the earth from this yellow jade. "Can I pick it up and take a look?" Jiang Qingxian asked Zhang Changyan. Zhang Changyan hesitated for a moment before nodding with a smile. "Sure, Senior. Please go ahead." In this treasure house, he was really not worried that Jiang Qingxian would do anything overboard. This treasure house was protected by a level 2 array formation that even foundation establishment cultivators couldn't break, not to mention the fact that this market was guarded by foundation establishment elders from the Zhang immortal family. At that moment, Jiang Qingxian reached out and picked up the extreme yellow jade. In an instant, Jiang Qingxian felt his wrist sink uncontrollably. It was as if he was holding something weighing 500 to 600 kilograms. With this weight, Jiang Qingxian knew that the manager of the treasure house was not lying to him. The extreme yellow jade in his hand was indeed genuine. Putting the extreme yellow jade back into the jade box, Jiang Qingxian looked at Zhang Changyan and nodded with a satisfied smile. "It's indeed a level 2 extreme yellow jade. I wonder how much it costs." "Senior, since you really want." Zhang Changyan smiled and said, "Then I can sell it to you for 1,000 spirit stones." In addition, I can also give you some information about where you can get heavenly spiritual dew. When he heard Jiang Changyan's words, Jiang Qingshuan's eyes immediately lit up and he nodded. Deal. As he spoke, he handed a storage bag containing 1,000 spirit stones to Jiang Changyan. Jiang Changyan took the storage bag and checked it. Seeing that the amount of spirit stones inside was right, he pushed the jade box containing the extreme yellow jade to Jiang Qingshan and smiled. This extreme yellow jade is yours now, Senior. After a pause, Jiang Changyan continued, Senior, I believe you know the Flowing Clouds sect not far from our market, right? Without waiting for Jiang Qingshan to answer, Jiang Changyan went on, as far as I know, in 5 days, there will be a Foundation Establishment Cultivators Trade Fair in the market under the jurisdiction of the Flowing Cloud sect. Senior, you can go there to take a look. Perhaps you can find the heavenly spiritual dew you want. A Foundation Establishment Cultivators Trade Fair held by the Flowing Cloud sect. He could indeed go over and take a look. Generally speaking, this kind of Foundation Establishment Cultivators Trade Fair was mostly held once every 10 years. At least, this was the case for the Shin immortal family. Speaking of which, in the years he had stayed in the Shin immortal family, he had never seen them hold a trade fair. After that, he did not stay in the market for long. Almost a day later, Jiang Qingshan arrived at a market under the jurisdiction of the Flowing Cloud sect. It was also the market where the Foundation Establishment Cultivators Trade Fair would be held in 5 days. Of course, there were only 4 days left. Since he was already here, Jiang Qingshan didn't waste time. He went to a few shops here to ask if there was any heavenly spiritual dew for sale. What if he was lucky enough to find the heavenly spiritual dew in those shops? However, it turned out that his luck was not that good. After asking around, he found out that none of the largest shops had it. Helpless, Jiang Qingshan could only wait for the trade fair in 4 days. He hoped that the trade fair would not disappoint him. Otherwise, he would inevitably have to make a trip to the Ganyang market. In that case, it would take him at least 2 months to make a round trip. If anything happened along the way, it was possible for this trip to take half a year. 4 days passed quickly. On this day, Jiang Qingshan came to a place called the Scarlet Cloud Pavilion. This was the venue of the trade fair. As soon as he arrived, a familiar voice suddenly sounded in his ear. Are you fellow Taoist Jiang? Jiang Qingshan turned around and saw a beautiful female cultivator in a green dress looking at him in surprise. Jiang Qingshan immediately recognized her. The beautiful Foundation Establishment female cultivator who appeared in front of him was none other than the elder of the Sunset sect, Qiu Yishui, who had tried to recruit him at the Ganyang market many years ago. At this moment, there was another beautiful female cultivator in a blue dress beside her. It's really you, fellow Taoist Jiang. A smile immediately appeared on Qiu Yishui's face. L.RG She walked up to Jiang Qingshan with the female cultivator in the blue dress and took the initiative to speak. Long time no see. I didn't expect to see fellow Taoist Jiang at the Scarlet Cloud Trade Fair today. How have you been doing all these years, fellow Taoist Jiang? Yes, thank you for your concern, fellow Taoist Qiu. I've been doing well. Jiang Qingshan smiled and nodded at Qiu Yishui. As he spoke, his gaze couldn't help but land on the female cultivator in blue beside Qiu Yishui. Seeing this, Qiu Yishui immediately took the initiative to introduce. By the way, fellow Taoist Jiang, let me introduce you. This is Elder Yen Junlan, from our Sunset Cloud sect. As she spoke, Qiu Yishui looked at Yen Junlan and smiled. Junlan, this is fellow Taoist Jiang Qingshan, I told you about before. Chapter 36. Trade Fair begins. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hello, fellow Taoist Jiang. Hearing Qiu Yishui's introduction, Yen Junlan immediately smiled and greeted Jiang Qingshan. She displayed no hostility towards Jiang Qingxian for not choosing to join my sunset sect back then or ignored him intentionally. People who could cultivate to the Foundation establishment realm were not so foolish as to make enemies of themselves for no reason. Of course, there was no lack of such people. However, it was a minority after all. At least so far, Jiang Qingxian had never encountered one. After they exchanged pleasantries, Qiu Yishui suddenly looked ahead. There, a middle-aged man in the uniform of an elder of the Flowing Cloud sect slowly walked up the platform. A trace of surprise flashed across Jiang Qingshuan's eyes. This was because the middle-aged man who walked up the platform at this moment was none other than Wan Donglai, the elder of the Flowing Cloud sect who tried to recruit him back then. At this moment, he looked at everyone and smiled. "I'm Wan Donglai, the elder of the Flowing Cloud sect. It's about time. Let's begin this trade fair." After a pause, he continued, "Since it's a trade fair held by the Flowing Cloud sect, I'll take the lead." With that, Wan Donglai took out a few things from his body. A bottle of pills, a Dharma artifact, and a fiery red stone the size of a palm. He showed these three things to everyone. The bottle contained profound essence pills. It was specially used by late-stage Foundation establishment realm cultivators to help them quickly increase their true essence and cultivation. As for the Dharma artifact, it was a high-grade level 2 spear. It was called the True Martial Tai Spear. It was made of high-grade level 2 precious material, Tai golden crystal iron. It was inlaid with many offensive runes and was especially suitable for close combat type cultivators. As for the last item, it was a high-grade level 2 treasure called True Fire Heaven Crystal. It could help cultivators quickly comprehend high-grade level 2 fire element spells, could also be used to set up high-grade level 2 attack arrays, and could also be used to forge high-grade level 2 fire element artifacts. It was a relatively precious material. It had to be said that the three items Wan Donglai took out were very rare. The eyes of many cultivators present lit up. They were extremely tempted. At this moment, Wan Donglai smiled and said, "A bottle of profound essence pills, a high-grade level 2 offensive Dharma artifact, and a true fire heaven crystal. I don't think I need to say anything about the value of these three things. Here, I want to use them to exchange for level 2 wood and earth element materials of the same quality or wind and lightning element materials of the same quality. Of course, if it's a wind and lightning element material of the same quality, we can discuss the price." Hearing Wan Donglai's conditions, many cultivators could not help but look disappointed. Obviously, they did not have the things Wan Donglai mentioned. However, there was no lack of cultivators present who had these precious materials. Soon, a female cultivator at the late stage of the Foundation establishment realm took out a high-grade level 2 earth element material and exchanged it with Wan Donglai. Then, two other late-stage Foundation establishment realm cultivators used wood element materials to exchange for the other two items from Wan Donglai. Wan Donglai was obviously not satisfied. In fact, what he hoped to obtain the most this time was the materials with the wind and lightning elements. However, he knew very well that precious materials with special elements like wind and lightning were hard to come back, let alone high-grade level 2 ones. Soon, Wan Donglai walked off the stage. Immediately, a 9th-level Foundation establishment realm cultivator walked up. He took out a cloud-like thing from his body and said to everyone, "Everyone, this item is called Dream Smoke. It's the main material for setting up a high-grade level 2 illusion array, and it's also the main material for refining some special artifacts. I think the price of this item is self-evident. I just want to exchange it for a purple-violet pill or a treasure that can help one combat inner demons." Purple-violet pill. Hearing this name, Jiang Qingshuan's heart skipped a beat. If he remembered correctly, purple-violet pill seemed to be a pill that could help cultivators protect their Tao heart and soul when they failed to break through to the Violet Palace realm. Although it didn't increase the success rate of breaking through to the Violet Palace realm, after taking it, at least your safety could be guaranteed. As long as you didn't die and recuperated well for 8 to 10 years, you would have a chance to make a second attempt to break through to the Violet Palace realm. When Qiu Yishui, who was beside Jiang Qingxian, heard the item the 9th level Foundation Establishment Realm Cultivator wanted, she shook her head. Dream smoke is not enough to exchange a purple-violet pill. It seems like this fellow Taoist wants to try to break through to the Violet Palace realm in the near future. Hearing this, Jiang Qingxian couldn't help but turn to look at her and ask, "Fellow Taoist Qiu, why does that fellow Taoist want a treasure that can help him combat his inner demons?" Yan Junlan looked over and said, "Don't you know why?" Jiang Qingxian did not feel embarrassed at all. Hearing that, he shook his head. "I really don't know. After all, fellow Taoist Qiu, as you know, it's only been 4 or 5 years since I broke through to the Foundation Establishment realm." Qiu Yishui nodded in understanding. "That's true," she said. "If we Foundation Establishment cultivators want to break through to the Violet Palace realm, the most important step is to use the power of our divine souls to open the Naiwan Palace and turn true essence into magic power. In this process, one will experience all kinds of tribulations. The most dangerous one is the inner demons. At that time, you will feel guilty, regretful, sad, angry, happy, or a mixture of all of the emotions. At that moment, if you cannot protect your Tao heart, there is a high chance that you will be devoured by these emotions. At that time, your true essence will go berserk, your cultivation will backfire, and your divine soul will be destroyed. That's why we need external help." Jiang Qingxian nodded in realization. "I see." At this moment, seeing that no one came up to exchange with him for what he wanted after a long time, the 9th level Foundation Establishment Realm Cultivator knew that this exchange would probably not succeed. In the end, he left the stage in disappointment. Chapter 37. Sudden change in the Shen immortal family. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Then, many cultivators went on stage one after another. They wanted to exchange for different things. Some wanted to exchange pills, some wanted to exchange Dharma artifacts, some wanted to exchange cultivation techniques, some wanted to exchange spiritual herbs, and so on. In the end, even Qiu Yishui and Yan Junlan walked up the stage one after another. On the other hand, because it was his first time here and his cultivation was not outstanding, Jiang Qingxian was put in the back of the line. When he walked on stage, the number of people present was obviously much fewer than before. Obviously, after exchanging the items they wanted, those people left early. Looking at the people present, Jiang Qingxian immediately took out the water-glazed stone he had obtained from the demonic cultivator and said, "This water-glazed stone is the main material for refining a level 2 water-element Dharma artifact. I want to use it to exchange for 2 bottles of heavenly spiritual dew. Of course, if you only have 1 bottle, you need to give me 500 spirit stones." Seeing what Jiang Qingxian took out, some people's eyes lit up. However, when they heard Jiang Qingxuan's desired item, many people couldn't help but frown. It was because very few people would collect heavenly spiritual dew. Most of the people present did not have it. However, at this moment, Wan Donglai, the host of this trade fair, smiled and said to Jiang Qingxian, "Fellow Taoist Jiang, long time no see. I happen to have 2 bottles of the heavenly spiritual dew. However, if I use 2 bottles of heavenly spiritual dew to exchange for your water-glazed stone, I'm afraid you have to give me some more spirit stones." Hearing Wan Donglai's words, Jiang Qingxian, who was originally a little disappointed, was immediately excited. He immediately nodded at Wan Donglai and said, "No problem. 2 bottles of heavenly spiritual dew for this water-glazed stone. I'll give you another 500 spirit stones." "Deal." Wan Donglai immediately took out 2 jade bottles from his body and handed them to Jiang Qingxian. Jiang Qingxian took it and looked at it. A satisfied smile immediately appeared on his face. When the trade between the 2 sides ended, it was also about time for this trade fair to end. Xiao Yishui glanced at Jiang Qingxian and smiled. Fellow Taoist Jiang, I wonder if you have any plans next. Do you want to go to Sunset Sect with me? Hearing that, Jiang Qingxian immediately shook his head with a smile. Fellow Taoist Xiao, thank you for your invitation, but I still have something important to do. I have to go back first. Next time. When I have time, I'll definitely visit your sect. All right, then. Xiao Yishui had clearly expected Jiang Qingshuan's rejection. The two of them exchanged communication jade tokens and bade farewell. Originally, Jiang Qingxian wanted to go to the other markets under the jurisdiction of the Flowing Cloud sect to see if there was anything worth buying. However, at this moment, the Shen immortal family sent him an urgent message, asking him and the other Foundation establishment realm elders outside to return to Splendid Jade Mountain immediately. Upon receiving this message, Jiang Qingshuan's heart skipped a beat. He instinctively felt that something might have happened to the Shen immortal family. He did not dare to delay. After leaving the market, he immediately took out the mid-grade level 2 purple flame sword and rushed towards Splendid Jade Mountain as quickly as possible. 2 days later. Jiang Qingshuan's sword light landed on Splendid Jade Mountain. In an instant, he sensed that something was wrong. A tense atmosphere permeated the entire Splendid Jade Mountain. What exactly was going on? Just as Jiang Qingxian was puzzled and confused, a familiar voice suddenly came from behind him. Elder Jiang. Jiang Changxian turned around. Shen Ruyan, who was dressed in purple, was walking towards him from afar. However, today, Shen Ruyan, who usually had a smile on her face, looked especially serious. Jiang Qingxian even saw suppressed anger in her eyes. Elder Ruyan. Jiang Qingxian greeted her and cut to the chase. Did something happen? Why are we summoned back so suddenly? Something did happen. Shen Ruyan nodded. Not long ago, demonic cultivators ambushed the Thousand Willow Market under the jurisdiction of the Shen immortal family. At that time, cousin Rushuang, who was in charge of guarding the market, was seriously injured. Dozens of our cultivators died there. What? When he heard this news, Jiang Qingxian was shocked. He knew that the Thousand Willow Market Shen Ruyan was talking about was the largest level 2 market under the Shen immortal family. It had roughly 30% of the Shen immortal family's assets. Now that Shen Rushuang, a level 2 alchemist, was seriously injured, and so many cultivators of the Shen family were killed, wouldn't it mean that the Thousand Willow Market was already? As if knowing what Jiang Qingxian wanted to ask, Shen Ruyan couldn't help but nod with difficulty. That's right. Thousand Willow Market has indeed suffered an unprecedented blow. Many industries were destroyed. If not for the level 3 talisman left for her by our ancestor, she would probably be dead by now. Moreover. At this point, Shen Ruyan took a deep breath before continuing to say to Jiang Qingxian, a city with 800,000 mortals under the Shen immortal family was also attacked by those demonic cultivators. Unfortunately, they were not as lucky as my cousin. The 800,000 mortals in the city and all the cultivators guarding it were killed. None of them survived. Jiang Qingxian couldn't help but gasp. He felt unprecedentedly suffocated. Jiang Qingxian could not imagine such a scene. 800,000 people were gone just like that. This was a shock he had never felt in the past 100 years. This was also the first time he truly felt how ruthless and vicious those demonic cultivators were. In their eyes, those mortals were like cattle to be slaughtered at any time. Of course, other than the 2 reasons I mentioned, there's also the most important reason why the family summoned you back. Shen Ruyan suddenly took a deep breath and looked at Jiang Qingxian. That's another goal those demonic cultivators are pursuing. They are in charge of killing Foundation establishment realm elders like you who are outside. Chapter 38. The cause of the situation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hearing this, Jiang Qingxian was taken aback. He suddenly remembered the 2 demonic cultivators he met after leaving the Shen immortal family. Could it be that the two people back then were also in charge of killing the elders of the Shin immortal family? If that was the case, then it made sense why he was suddenly attacked. Yes, Elder Jiang. What's wrong? Looking at Jiang Qingshuan's abnormal reaction, Shen Ruiyan asked in confusion. Jiang Qingxian did not hide anything and immediately told her about how he was attacked by two demonic cultivators after leaving the Shen immortal family. When Shen Ruiyan heard that, her expression immediately changed. Elder Jiang, is what you said true? Jiang Qingxian nodded. Elder Ruiyan, take a look at this. As he spoke, Jiang Qingxian took out the sharp claw Dharma artifact that the burly man in black used back then. Then, he took out some items from the tall and thin man's storage bag. These are. Shen Ruiyan's eyes narrowed. She reached out and picked up these items to check. After a while, she took a deep breath and nodded. These are indeed things used by those demonic cultivators. If I remember correctly, this claw Dharma artifact should be the artifact used by someone called Zhao Guisho. As for these items, Shen Ruiyan recalled for a moment and seemed to have thought of something. They should be used to refine some kind of evil spirit. Coupled with your description of that person, I'm certain that it's very likely a guy called Guoxieling. His famous Dharma artifacts are a low-grade level 2 demonic saber and a flag that can summon evil spirits. At this point, Shen Ruiyan seemed to have realized something and couldn't help but look at Jiang Qingxian in surprise. Elder Jiang, did you just say that they both died at your hands? Jiang Qingxian nodded. In this matter, he felt that there was nothing to hide. Especially at a moment like this. However, in the end, he still added something. I was just lucky. If they were more careful, the outcome might have been different. He was not being humble. The reason why Jiang Qingxian could kill those two people was also very much related to their underestimation of the enemy at the beginning. However, no matter what, the fact that he could kill a 3rd and 4th level Foundation establishment demonic cultivator proved his strength. Although Shen Ruiyan did not know the exact situation at that time, she could imagine the danger it contained. Hearing that, she immediately heaved a sigh of relief and said, "Fortunately, Elder Jiang, you came back unscathed. Otherwise Shen Ruiyan did not say the rest, but Jiang Qingxian clearly felt a trace of coldness from her. This made him slightly stunned, but at the same time, knowing that someone would avenge him if he was harmed, he felt warm. After that, the two of them wasted no time. Soon, they headed to the main peak of splendid Jade Mountain. At this moment, several elders of the Shen immortal family had already gathered here. Among them were Xiong Wandao, Su Qianhe, and Shen Changmian. Their expressions were very solemn. Clearly, what happened made these elders of the Shen immortal family extremely angry. At this moment, when they saw Jiang Qingxian and Shen Ruiyan coming over, they nodded at the two of them as a form of greeting. Jiang Qingxian and Shen Ruiyan were obviously not in the mood to exchange pleasantries. They found a place and sat down. Not long after, Shen Daoming, the current head of the Shen family, flew over on a beam of light. When he walked in, everyone saw that he was holding a bloody head in his hand. The eyes of the head were wide open, and it looked like he had died with his eyes open. This is. Everyone couldn't help but look shocked. Shen Daoming glanced at everyone and said coldly, "This head belongs to Qin Zhouxiao, a demonic cultivator at the 9th level of the Foundation establishment realm. He's also one of the main culprits who attacked Thousand Willow Market this time. It's him." Hearing Shen Daoming's words, everyone present immediately reacted. At the same time, they were a little surprised. They didn't expect Qin Zhouxiao, a demonic cultivator at the 9th level of the Foundation establishment realm, was actually killed by the head of the Shen immortal family. From the looks of it, the family head of the Shen immortal family was probably not far from entering the Violet Palace realm. Shen Daoming casually threw Qin Zhouxiao's head to the ground and said to everyone, "In a while, I'll use him to pay tribute to our fellow cultivators who died in this battle, as well as the 800,000 innocent mortals who were harmed by them." Now, let's discuss this matter and the subsequent arrangements. As he spoke, Shen Daoming's gaze swept across everyone. To be honest, what happened to the Shen immortal family this time is actually a revenge by those demonic cultivators. Wait, what? Hearing Shen Daoming's words, the people present could not help but look puzzled. Obviously, they did not know what Shen Daoming meant by revenge. Shen Daoming continued, more than 100 years ago, the current ancestor of the Shen immortal family led the cultivators of the Shen immortal family to destroy a stronghold of demonic cultivators. In that incident, our ancestor killed a demonic cultivator at the Violet Palace realm at that time and slaughtered dozens of demonic cultivators at the Foundation Establishment realm. However, because there were a few demonic cultivators who happened to be away, they managed to escape death. What happened to the Shen immortal family this time was done by those who survived back then. Most importantly, one of them had even broken through to the Violet Palace realm not long ago. Fortunately, we set up an array in Thousand Willow Market. Otherwise, the losses of the Shen immortal family would probably be far greater than this. After hearing Shen Daoming's words, even Xiong Wandao, Su Qianhe, and the experienced elders of the Shen immortal family couldn't help but look a little surprised. Clearly, they did not know that there was actually such a reason behind this attack. Jiang Qingxian thought to himself that it was really a close call. Fortunately, the ones who targeted him that day were only two demonic cultivators at the third or fourth level of the Foundation Establishment realm. If two late-stage Foundation Establishment realm demonic cultivators came after him, he would probably be in danger. At this moment, Xiong Wandao and Su Qianhe looked at Shen Daoming and could not help but ask, "Brother Daoming, I wonder how that demonic cultivator at the Violet Palace realm is doing now." Chapter 39. The ancestor of the Shen family, you are listening at novelfull.audio. Hearing this, Jiang Qingxian, Shen Ruyan, and Shen Changyan also looked at Shen Daoming. They all wanted to know the exact situation regarding the Violet Palace realm demonic cultivator. However, before Shen Daoming could answer, a green-robed middle-aged man suddenly appeared in front of everyone. Everyone present, including Shen Daoming, was shocked to see him. Shen Daoming, Shen Ruyan, and the others quickly bowed and said, "Greetings, ancestor." Ancestor. Jiang Qingxian was stunned. He did not expect the green-robed middle-aged man who suddenly appeared in front of them to be the Violet Palace realm cultivator of the Shen immortal family. This was also the first time he had seen a person at the Violet Palace realm since he began cultivation. The first feeling he had was that Violet Palace realm cultivators were powerful and unfathomable. In front of him, Jiang Qingxian felt like he was an ant on the ground and could die at any time. At this moment, Shen Yuanlong, the ancestor of the Shen family, nodded at everyone. "Although I didn't kill that Violet Palace realm demonic cultivator, I severely injured him. It should take him at least 70 years to recover. You don't have to worry about him anymore. As for the Qi Refinement and Foundation Establishment realm demonic cultivators who escaped, you need to track them down and try to get rid of them in the shortest time possible." As he spoke, Shen Yuanlong suddenly turned to Jiang Qingxian, who was in the crowd, and a faint smile suddenly appeared on his face. "You're Jiang Qingxian, right? I heard that you killed two Foundation Establishment realm demonic cultivators. Not bad, not bad." As he spoke, a high-grade level 2 flying sword appeared in his hand and he handed it to Jiang Qingxian. "This is a level 2 Dharma artifact I used when I was in the Foundation Establishment realm back then. Take it as a reward I give you for killing two Foundation Establishment realm demonic cultivators." Looking at the high-grade level 2 flying sword handed over by Shen Yuanlong, Jiang Qingxian was stunned. He did not understand why the ancestors of the Shen family would suddenly focus on him. Moreover, how did he know that he had killed two Foundation Establishment realm demonic cultivators? Could it be that he heard his conversation with Shen Ruyan just now? It was not impossible. However, was there a need to specially reward him a high-grade level 2 flying sword for such a thing? Speaking of which, Shen Daoming, who killed a 9th-level Foundation Establishment Realm demonic cultivator, should have contributed more than him, right? If he wanted to reward anyone, this flying sword should be given to Shen Daoming, not Jiang Qingxian. However, Shen Yuanlong clearly had no intention of explaining. After handing the level 2 flying sword to Jiang Qingxian, he sent a voice transmission to Shen Daoming, asking him to take Jiang Qingxian and Shen Ruyan to go to his place later. Then, he turned into a stream of light and instantly disappeared from everyone's sight. Seeing this, Xiong Wandao, Su Qianhe, and Shen Changyan couldn't help but look at Jiang Qingxian. They were obviously very surprised. They were surprised by the fact that Jiang Qingxian had killed 2 Foundation Establishment Realm demonic cultivators, and they were also surprised by what Shen Yuanlong did just now. Even Shen Daoming and Shen Ruyan could not figure out why their ancestors did this. This made Jiang Qingxian a little nervous. He felt that ancestor was putting him on the spot intentionally. However, he could not decline it. At this moment, he handed the level 2 flying sword in his hand to Shen Daoming and forced a smile. Family head, you can take this Dharma artifact. I really don't deserve it. However, Shen Daoming shook his head seriously. Elder Jiang, don't. Since it's a reward from ancestors, just take it. Don't feel pressured. Hearing Shen Daoming say that, Jiang Chengshua could only put away this high-grade level 2 flying sword for the time being. It was only at this moment that Shen Daoming looked at everyone again and said, "Everyone, I think you all heard what the ancestor said just now. Next, the most important thing is to track down all the Qi Refinement and Foundation Establishment Realm demonic cultivators who have escaped and are hiding. Then, we'll kill them one by one." At this moment, Elder Daofeng and Elder Baifei are guarding the level 2 spiritual vein and the level 2 market. Although their main mission this time is not to participate in our operation, if necessary, they will come to our aid. As for cousin Rushuang, because she's seriously injured and hasn't recovered, she won't participate in our operation this time. At this point, Shen Daoming paused for a moment before continuing, "Therefore, we will be in charge of this mission." With that, Shen Daoming took out a map and pointed at an area. "Next, I'll be in charge of searching and sweeping the largest area in the north." Then, he pointed at a few more areas. "Elder Xiong will be in charge of this place in the south, and Elder Su is in charge of this place in the east. 6th uncle, you'll be in charge of this place in the west. How about that?" As he spoke, Shen Daoming looked at Shen Changyan. Shen Changyan smiled and nodded. "I have no problem with that." Shen Daoming nodded. Finally, he looked at Jiang Qingxian and Shen Ruyan and said, "As for Elder Jiang and you, Ruyan, you'll be in charge of searching Thousand Willow Market together. Once you find anything strange, send back a signal immediately." After hearing Shen Daoming's arrangements, everyone present nodded. After a while, they left. However, just as Jiang Qingxian and Shen Ruyan were about to leave together, Shen Daoming stopped them. "Elder Jiang, Ruyan, wait a moment." "Wait, what?" Jiang Qingxian and Shen Ruyan turned around in confusion. Shen Daoming said, "Before that, follow me to Huawu Peak. Just now, Ancestor sent a voice transmission to me and asked me to bring you to him." To Huawu Peak. Hearing Shen Daoming's words, Jiang Qingxian and Shen Ruyan were stunned. Clearly, they did not expect the ancestor to ask them to go over. "Brother, did ancestor say what it's about?" Shen Ruyan could not help but ask. However, Shen Daoming smiled bitterly and shook his head. "I'm not too sure about that. The ancestor didn't say, but since it's his request, we must follow." Jiang Qingxian and Shen Ruyan looked at each other. The two of them did not say anything else and immediately followed Shen Daoming to Huawu Peak where Shen Yuanlong was. Chapter 40. The Ancestor of the Shen Family, 2, you are listening at novelfull.audio. Huawu Peak. This was the place where the Shen family's ancestor, Shen Yuanlong, cultivated. At this moment, he was sitting at a jade table. Opposite him sat a woman in a light yellow dress. She was beautiful, but she had white hair. Shen Yuanlong pushed a cup of tea to the white-haired woman and slowly said, "Sister, I've already done as you said just now." After a pause, a trace of seriousness appeared on Shen Yuanlong's face. He continued, "Did you see something? Actually, you don't have to do this. You've sacrificed enough over the years. I'm worried that if you continue like this, your lifespan will probably." Shen Yuanlong did not say the rest. The white-haired woman smiled and said, "It's fine, brother. Even if I stop calculating, I'm afraid I won't have much time left." Shen Yuanlong's expression darkened. The white-haired woman continued, "I indeed saw something, which is why I specially rushed over from the Ganyang sect to confirm my guess. From the looks of it, what I saw should not be wrong. The hope of our Shen family's rise in the future is very likely to fall on the two of them. However, I still have to see them personally to know the details." It turned out that the white-haired woman sitting opposite Shen Yuanlong was none other than his sister, Shen Mengxue. Currently, she was a Violet Palace realm elder of the Ganyang sect and the Tao companion of a Golden Core Grand Elder. When Shen Yuanlong heard Shen Mengshue's words, he couldn't help but ask, "Is there anything I need to do from now on?" Shen Mengxue shook her head. "You don't have to specially do anything. You just have to help them when help is needed. Other than that, you can create more opportunities for them to be together in the future. When the time is right, you can." Before she could finish, the two of them suddenly turned to look at the distant sky. There, 3 streaks of light were quickly flying over. When they approached, Shen Yuanlong immediately raised his hand and deactivated the protective array. Soon, the 3 streaks of light appeared in front of Shen Yuanlong and Shen Mengxue. They were Jiang Qingxian, Shen Ruyan, and Shen Daoming. "You're here." Seeing the 3 of them, a faint smile appeared on Shen Yuanlong's face. Jiang Qingxian looked normal, but on the other side, a look of astonishment appeared on Shen Ruyan and Shen Daoming's faces. The two of them immediately bowed to Shen Yuanlong and Shen Mengxue. "Greetings, ancestors." "Wait, what?" Hearing the Shen siblings' words, Jiang Qingxian was taken aback. 2 ancestors. He subconsciously turned to look at the white-haired woman and saw that her beautiful eyes were also on him at this moment. She suddenly smiled at him. "You should be Jiang Qingxian, right? This is the first time we've met. Take this bottle of earth essence pills as a gift from me." With that, Shen Mengxue handed a bottle of pills to Jiang Qingxian. Jiang Qingxian was dumbfounded. What was going on? Previously, Shen Yuanlong gave him a high-grade level 2 flying sword, and now, this ancestor of the Shen family in the Ganyang sect actually gave him a gift. That's right. At this moment, Jiang Qingxian had already recognized the identity of white-haired woman in front of him. But why did she give him a bottle of earth essence pills? Although this earth essence pill was not a particularly precious pill, it was a pill specially used by early-stage foundation establishment realm cultivators to accumulate true essence. This bottle of 6 pills should cost at least 3,000 to 4,000 spirit stones. Even Shen Ruyan and Shen Daoming were a little puzzled. They did not understand why their 2 ancestors treated Jiang Qingxian specially well. However, what puzzled them even more was that after Shen Mengxue handed over the bottle of earth essence pills, she smiled at the 3 of them and said, "All right, there is nothing else. You can leave." Hearing this, the 3 of them couldn't help but look at each other and see confusion in each other's eyes. They really did not understand what their ancestors meant. However, since their ancestor had said so, they naturally would not stay any longer. After bowing to the 2 of them, Jiang Qingxian and the other 2 flew away from Huawu Peak. Looking at the 3 of them leave, Shen Yuanlong couldn't help but turn to look at Shen Mengxue and ask, "Is your guess confirmed?" Shen Mengxue smiled and nodded. "That should be the case. When the time is right, try to make them Tao companions." At this point, Shen Mengxue suddenly let out a groan. Immediately after, dark red blood flowed out of her nose and quickly dyed the table red. Shen Yuanlong was shocked. He quickly went forward to support Shen Mengxue and asked anxiously, "Sister, are you all right? I'll send you back to the Ganyang sect now." However, Shen Mengxue waved her hand and smiled. This is the backlash of peeping at heavenly secrets. I know my situation very well. I won't die for the time being. However, this basically proves that my previous guess was not wrong. The future of the Shen immortal family is probably really in the hands of the two of them. As she spoke, she took out a bright red pill from her body and swallowed it. After swallowing the bright red pill, her originally pale face immediately turned rosy, and she seemed to have recovered a lot. However, only Shen Yuanlong knew that his sister's lifespan was probably really running out. At the same time, after Jiang Qingxian and the other two left Huawu Peak, they left the Shen immortal family's base, Splendid Jade Mountain. On the way, Jiang Qingxian and Shen Ruyan turned to look at Shen Daoming. Jiang Qingxian couldn't help but ask, "Family head, the two ancestors just now, what exactly?" Shen Ruyan couldn't help but interrupt. "That's right, brother. What exactly do the two ancestors mean?" However, Shen Daoming smiled bitterly and shook his head. "I don't know either, even if you ask me. How can I know what the ancestors are thinking?" As he spoke, he turned to look at Jiang Qingxian and thought for a moment before saying, "Elder Jiang, you don't have to feel pressured. Since ancestors have shown special goodwill to you, you might as well accept it. Don't worry, with my understanding of the two ancestors, they definitely mean no harm." As they spoke, the three of them arrived at a fork in the road. Shen Daoming said, "All right, let's part ways here. If anything happens, remember to send back a signal immediately." With that, Shen Daoming cupped his hands at Jiang Qingxian and nodded at Shen Ruyan. His figure turned into a beam of light and headed north.